Alright everyone, in this video we will finish up the tutorial and afterwards you'll be ready to expand and build your own platformer game. So as a brief recap, this is the current state of our game. Let's drag that over. So currently I have a player, I have an animation, I can jump, I can collect coins, I play a sound when I collect coins, and the score updates automatically. Additionally, if I was to collect 2 coins at the same time, the score would update for both coins, for each coin. I also have my cloud and my bushes on different layers, and I have a jump through platform. Let's continue. So, we're going to add enemies to our platformer game. Let's add an enemy that will be moving left and right on platforms. The player can destroy it by jumping on top of it. Create and add the enemy object to your scene. Alright, so we've done this many times already. We've done it 7 times at least. So let's go ahead and add an object. A sprite one, and we're going to add images slime walk and slime walk 2 to the first animation. So I'm going to add an animation, I'm going to add the image, go to the resources 1 and 2, I'm going to select both of them. Remember to select both, click one, hold shift, click the other one, or click one, hold control, click the other one. And we have them right here. We're going to name this animation walk. So I'm going to give it the name walk. Since our enemy is going to be constantly moving, we do not need an idle or any other animation. Set the animation to loop by clicking on the Don't Loop button. Okay, we've done this before also, for our player walking. So now it's looping, and it tells us to put it to 0.5. So let's compare our windows. Looks the same. And you can confirm the changes by clicking on the Apply button. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and rename the object to slime right now. Click Apply. And there's my slime object. I'm going to add a slime object to the scene, making sure it sits right on top of the platform. So here we go, right there. It's a little bit on the platform. Let's move a little bit up. There we go. So let's run the preview now. And if you read the text, it says it won't do much. And that's to be expected. We have not programmed it to do anything. Right? But we can see it is playing the walking animation. See the image changing. Let's continue. We're going to make the enemy move left and right. Now think about how we move the player left and right. We control the player with our arrow keys. However, for enemies, we have to write some programs to control how they move. So we're going to do this by using invisible objects. When a slime will touch one of the objects, it will reverse its direction. Let's add 2 objects that will act as delimiters. Create a new sprite object and add the image left.png. Name it left. Then create one more object and add the image right.png. Name the object right. So hopefully you know how to do this by now, so I'm not going to explain anything, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Left, lowercase, right, and notice how they want us to name the object a lowercase. Finally, put the object called left to the right side of the platform, and the object called right to the left side of the platform. Alright, so let's make our thing look like that. And there we go. The arrow is pointing to the right, this arrow is pointing to the left. So, there's a typo right there. If the slime collides with the object called left, this one, we're going to set the direction to move to the left. And if it collides with the object called right, we set the direction to move right. So, first we're going to create an object variable. So, object variable called direction with the default value left. We're going to use this variable to change the direction. And if you don't remember what a variable is just something that can hold a value. And this value can change. And we can specify and change the value. So, to add an object variable to our slime, right-click on the slime object in the object list. So that's this list. And choose Edit Object Variables. Slime, right-click. Edit Object Variables. Empty window is displayed. It contains the list of object variables we have declared for a slime object. It is empty now, so we have declared none. To add an object variable, click the plus sign in the bottom right corner. So this adds a variable called variable in the window. Click on the name and change it to direction. Lowercase d, important. Lowercase d. Click on the value field and enter left. So our windows match. Click the apply button. We now have an object variable called direction with the default value left. Let's now use this variable to make our slime move. In the events editor, add a blank event and add a condition to check the text of an object's variable. You can find it in common conditions, variables, text of an object's variable. So we are going to be looking at the slime object. And for the variable field, we're going to select direction. Right? Because the slime has a variable called direction. For slime, we're going to see if it's equal to a value, and we're going to test if it is equal to the word left. Remember, put quotations. Left is a type of variable we call a string, and strings are always in quotations. Check to see it matches. Press OK. So, if the text of the variable direction of slime is left, then what do we want to do? We want it to move left. So let's do that. So common conditions, movement, add a force angle. We'll almost click the wrong one. We are going to be dealing with the slime. And it says right here, 180 degrees for the angle. And if you have taken pre-cal or know your unit circle, 0 is pointing to the right. 180 is a semicircle, and we would be facing left at that point in time. And speed is 100 pixels per second. So yes, students, we do use math very often in video game design. It will be something you will need to learn. Enjoy! Alright, choose instant option for it's already on instant. So the force will be applied at every frame of the game as a condition that stays valid for a certain time. Compare. Looks good. Click OK. Alright. So. Oh, I forgot to save. I'll save it after. But if we were to run it, look, our slime is just moving to the left. Oh, look, it's flying. Save it. It never changes direction. We never check or we never have a condition or an action where we move it to the right. So now we want to check if there's a collision between a slime object and the object we called right, this one. If there is, we're going to change the value of the direction variable to right. So let's add a blank event. add a condition to check collision. So what if you forgot where to find that? Well, let's do collision. Not here. Maybe check collision. No. Object collision. No. So what would we do if we forgot how to get to it? So look here. It says you should already know how to do this. I'm typing in my keywords, collision, check collision. Doesn't seem to work. Maybe objects? Oh, collision, right here. Common conditions for all objects. So test a collision between two objects. Yes, this is what we want. We want to test if the slime collides with the right arrow. The object called right. Next. Okay. So let's click OK. Now it's going to tell us to add an action to modify the text. So let's just try typing that. Modify. Oh, look. Modify the text of a variable of an object. And students, there are a lot more variables, sorry, not variables, a lot more actions, collisions that are not necessarily covered in this tutorial. I highly recommend you taking a look around, playing around with them, and looking up the online documentation for this in order to learn more about what you can do. So we're going to change the slime object, the direction variable, and we're going to set it equal to. So if it hits the right arrow, if the slime touches the right arrow, we want it to set to right. We want the direction to be set to right. And again, do not forget the double quotes. Alright. So if we run the preview now, you may notice that nothing is happening because we didn't tell GDevelop what to do with direction to right. Let's just see it. And I highly recommend you to always, see what's happening. Alright, so now it touched, but nothing's happening. But we see that it's not moving left anymore. And why is it not moving left? Because the text of the variable direction, it's not left anymore. We set it to right because it collided with this right thing. But we also need to add a condition where we make it move to the right. Alright. So let's finish by adding the same two similar events, but reversing left by right and changing direction. When you're done, the events should look like this, minus the actions to flip the sprite that we're going to add after. Alright, so this is testing your memory to see if you know how to do this. So we're going to add these four actions. So we already have slime into collision with right. We need to add slime into collision with left in that action. We already have text of variable direction of slime is equal to left. We have that action, and we need to add this one. So class, if you forgot how to do it, I highly recommend you going above and reading through the tutorial and trying to figure your way out through it. If you do need help, feel free to refer back to this video. I'm going to add a new event. I'm going to do collision for objects. Collision. I'm checking if the slime is colliding with, I already made one if it's colliding with right. So this one is going to be colliding with left. If it is, I'm going to set the text, I think it was modify text. Yes, modify the text of a variable of an object. And notice we have another modify text that is used for something else. So we are modifying the slime direction variable. We are setting it equal to, and if the slime hits the left facing arrow, we want it to start moving left. Awesome. So I'm just going to rearrange this, and you can do that by dragging this to make it look like that. Now let's add another blink event. And here's the secret, guys. We can just copy this right here. And instead of left, we're going to click this and make it right. Now, you can see that nowhere in the tutorials does it say that you can do what I just did. Right? But it's because I am familiar with GDevelop. I've played around with it, and I've clicked random buttons to see what it does. Let's go ahead and make our lives easier and just copy. I'm going to make it move 0 degrees. That's the right direction. So click that. 0. Save. Right. Now, if you launch a preview of the game, the slime should move left and right, but keep spacing left when moving. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, so it's just facing left. It's kind of walking backwards. So we had to change the animation a little. So let's flip the orientation. In the list of actions in an event where we make the slime move to the left, add an action to flip the sprite horizontally. So the original sprite is facing left. If we flip it horizontally, it would be facing right. For object, select slime, and for value, select no, as we don't want the object to be flipped when moving left. Repeat the same, but this time for the event used to move the slime to the right, select yes this time, because we do want to flip the object when it's moving right. So let's kind of look at this. So it seems like we're adding a new action. Alright, let's look for it. It doesn't really tell us how to get there, but I'm just going to try flip. Alright, and there we go. It's in Sprite Effects, or you can just search it. So we're going to flip the picture of the slime. So if it is facing left, if the text is left, we do not activate flipping, right? No. I'm just going to copy that, put it here. And this one, we do want to activate flipping. Oh, saving the wrong thing. Let's try it. And look, we see it moving left and right. Now, make the player kill the enemy. This is like Mario jumping on a Goomba. So add a blank event with a condition to check if there is a collision between the player and the slime. Blank event, condition, and collision between player and the slime. So this is just like what we did with the coin, player and coin, but now we're doing player and slime. And add an action to delete the slime. So delete. There you go. We want to delete the slime. If we run this now, the slime should be deleted as soon as we collide with it. Let's check that out. But we only want to delete it if the player jumps on top of it. Okay, let's wait for that. Am I not tall enough? Oh, there we go. Alright. So I basically just stomped on it. We need to add one more condition. This time, check if the player is falling. So right here, I'm going to check if the player is falling. And we've done that before. I think it was in common conditions. Object, nope. Behavior, nope. Position, nope. Objects, nope. Movement, nope. And again, if you don't remember how to get there, just search it. Falling. Oh, it's in platform behavior. So if the player is falling, our slime should be deleted when the player jumps on a slime. It is still not perfect as the player falls on slime and the slime disappears without the player bouncing. Yeah, so we kind of want it to look more Mario-like, where he bounces up. So to do that, we need to add one more action to the event. Choose this time the action called allow again jumping, and we want to do that for the player object. Then add another action called Simulate Jump Key Press Action to make it jump. This will look like the player is bouncing. You can find both in the platformer behavior. So delete, jump again, and simulate jumping. So they set platform behavior, options, allow again jumping, and the player. And then add action, platform behavior, controls, simulate jump key press for the player. Awesome. Looks good. Save. Let's drag that over. Wow. Beautiful. Awesome. Now, let's do the reverse logic. Have the player killed if the enemy touches it. Add a blank event, and add a condition to check if there is a collision between the player and the slime. So same thing, collision. Between who? The player and the slime. But we already have that. So this one, instead of the player falling, we are going to be if the player is on the ground. This is not going to work as is because we might delete the player before we can delete the slime, and vice versa. We need to add one more condition, check if the player is on the floor. So, last one was in platform behavior, and is on floor, if the player is on the floor. There we go. And what do we want to do? We want to delete the player. So, delete. Right? We want to kill the player off. So we want to delete the player if the player is on the floor and the player collides with the slime. So let's try that out. Oh, and I disappear into the abyss. Alright. Hiding the platform delimiters. The last thing we want to do now is to hide those left and right arrow objects. To do that, add an event with the condition at the beginning. So add a blank event, condition, I don't know where that is, beginning. Okay, at the beginning of the scene. I'm just going to move that up here. It makes sense because it's at the very beginning, so it would make sense to be at the very top. And we want to hide the object left and hide the object right. So let's look for hide. Awesome. What do we want to hide? Left. And let's copy that. Let's, maybe I clicked something wrong. Paste. Alright. Copy. Paste. And we want to hide the object right as well. There we go. Let's save. Alright, so you can look at all your events, make sure they look like this. And now if you run a preview, the left and right objects with the arrows should be hidden. The slime should move left and right constantly. And we are able to kill the slime by jumping on top of it. And the slime should be able to kill the player when it collides with it on the floor. So we don't see it. And I disappear. And let's run again. Let's see if I can still kill the slime. Oh. I need to get better at games. Seems. Here. Again, I'm trying to see if I can jump on it. Awesome, that still works. So what did we learn today? Wow, we learned a lot. We learned how to add enemies, how to make them autonomously move. We also learned a lot of different events, actions and conditions. We made the player able to kill the enemy, made him able to simulate the jumping motion of Mario, allow the enemy to kill the player, and hide the platform delimiters. And next time we will add checkpoints, kind of like the saving stops in Mario. So if you get halfway through a very long stage, You don't have to start at the very beginning. Alright, see you in the next video.